I'm going to head back to my yoga mat. It's my suggestion that we start seated, but we'll be seated for several moments. So if that's not going to be comfortable for you, hey, you're at home. You can absolutely lie down when you need to. It's just a suggestion to start with the spine nice and long. And you certainly don't have to have legs crossed if that's not comfortable for you. Sit up on something so this pelvis feels very neutral. Like if you're going to find the hip points here and the bones at the back that were equal with them, we think about the pelvis as lying like a nice evenly placed bowl so the spine can grow tall out of it. And however you need to sit and support yourself to find that, so you feel the center point of both of your sits bones rooting into the ground, find that seat and take care of yourself, as I said. If you're comfortable to close your eyes, it's nice to create a little bit of a boundary between this moment together and the day that we have had so far. And let's flip our palms up in a bit of an embodiment of now being able to receive. So your days might have been filled with what you needed to do, what you wanted to accomplish with productivity. And I'm here to suggest that now we open up to the beauty of receiving. I invite you to receive with an open mind and an open heart some of these skills that I will offer you. I invite you to receive the benefits and the shifts that will be created within the systems of your body from this practice. Rather than doing the poses or doing this practice, I invite you to fully open up and allow this to be a gift from you to you. So with those eyes closed, I now invite you to arrive here. And in fact, inwardly speak to yourself, I'm here. I'm here. And prove that to yourself by taking stock of what it feels like to be where you are. Feel how your body is supported by whatever you are sitting on or lying on. With these palms space open, feel sensations and aliveness in the palms of the hands and the fingertips, and feel both of your hands at the same time. And notice how even though the mind is rarely right here, your body is. So anchoring into sensations of your body, like the aliveness of your hands, helps you to anchor into right here, right now. And when we're worried, and when our mind is chaotic and turbulent and there's a lot going on that is out of our control, the art of practicing being present can be so soothing for the mind and the body. In fact, the present moment is really the gateway to a yoga practice, which is like a meditation in motion. So let's continue to draw our awareness right back here, right now. As you stay with the sense of touch, please notice temperature and fabric on skin. And now notice what it is you hear. No judgment, no thinking, just observing sounds further away from your space, closer to you. Even though your eyes are closed, notice what you see behind closed lids. Even noticing what you smell and what you taste. Your senses giving you feedback about right here, right now. And you're witnessing it all. If there's any goal to a well-aligned yoga practice, it's that we could reunite with the part of us that is witnessing it all, rather than judging it, making it good or bad. We're watching and noticing, curious, compassionate. Now begin to deepen your breath and allow the abdomen to fill and expand as you inhale, and allow the spine to grow taller. Draw your shoulders all the way up, back, and down, and let the mind fully tether to the breath. And send it in these directions. As you inhale, feel and see your breath moving from the root of your body up towards the crown. And as you exhale, send your exhalation from the crown to the tail. Feel and see the breath moving up, creating even more length and expansion in your body. And feel and see your breath move out of the body in a downward direction, like a wash of relaxation over your body. And a bit of a hack to turn on the relaxation system is to lengthen your exhalations, to allow any residual tension physically, mentally, and emotionally just seep out of your experience for now. Now try to connect the thumb with the tip of the fourth finger. This is a mudra that is thought to calm the mind and body and create a sense of grounding. For some of you, you might notice when you've connected the thumb and the fourth finger that it becomes a bit easier to breathe in and out, to sit a bit taller. For some of you, maybe you don't notice. So a nice sample of a mudra and whether or not they work for you, these gestures that we make with our hands, is to release it. Just release the thumb and the fourth finger for a moment and take a few breaths. And then come back to that seal, thumb and tip of the fourth finger, and notice if breath feels a little bit more easeful here. So just a few more rounds of breath on your own as we become centered together in this digital space. The more present that we can be with our physical bodies, with our breath, the more present we'll be with each other, and we really do create a sacred space together. And if you need a little extra help coming back to now, then I'm suggesting a mantra, an internal repeated phrase of, I'm here. When the mind wanders, and it will, and that's okay, that's what it does, bring it back with the internal centering thought of, I'm here. One more big breath in. Open your mouth, let it go. What needs to be released and discharged. Bring the hands towards the heart. Enjoy your practice. Thank you for being here. Inhale, interlace the palms, press the palms away from you, reach the arms up above the head. Now we're moving in time with breath. As you exhale, cactus the arms, squeeze the shoulder blades towards one another, and end the exhale by bringing the hands back to center. Moving in time with breath. Inhale, interlace the hands, reach the hands above the head, sides of your body nice and long. Cactus arms, squeeze the shoulder blades towards one another, and bring the hands into a mudra that's thought to bring us back to our center. So 2 more times with your breath. We're moving specifically in time with breath because it's such an anchor for the mind to match our breath with our movement. So that's the purpose of how we're moving in this practice. Beginning of the inhale, beginning of the movement. End of the movement with the hands above the head, end of the breath. Beginning of the exhale, beginning of the movement, and end of the exhale. Bring the hands to heart center, close the eyes, and everything I say is just an invitation, but I invite you to inwardly say, I'm here, and just take it all in. And then I'll be your mirror. Right fingertips to the right of you. Reach the left arm high, and then exhale up and over, side stretch towards the right. Press down into both of your sit bones, beginning of the inhale, beginning of the movement. Switch sides and side stretch towards the left. Inhale, switch arms. Exhale, draw the whole waistline back, strong in the core, not collapsing into that low shoulder. And inhale, let's switch sides. Moving and breathing, tethering the mind to matching movement to breath. Press down into those sits bones, and the next time you're in a side stretch to your right, pause. You're not collapsing into the low shoulder, so you might walk the hand a little further away from you. And then keep the torso nice and steady. Back of the neck is long, and then arc that top arm back, down, and around. Keep the breath really flowing. You're moving in your pain-free range of motion. Now we're starting the warm-up of this practice, thinking about movements that tend to us after living an entire day, where we might have been leaning forward, typing, cooking, caring for children. So I'm thinking about allowing an opening of the shoulders and expansion across the chest in this practice. Breath is full, everybody. And the next time the left arm is reaching towards the right, press down into the sit bones, come back to center, palms open, receive, and receive the difference in each side of your body, each hand, each arm, shoulder. Notice sensation across the chest. You can always switch the cross of your legs if you're having discomfort. You're here, so you're responding to your body from a place of peaceful presence. Other side. Inhale, reach that arm up and over without collapsing into the low shoulder. And then a pain-free range of motion. Continue to move the sides of the throat back so you're not hanging your head forward. And you'll notice how one side feels a little bit differently than the other. And we'll simply endeavor to witness that. Slow movements, full, complete breaths, especially that exhalation, everybody. There's a real gift in a long exhalation. Next time the right arm reaches towards the left, root down, and then lean back onto the hands and free the legs. Just wiggle the feet and shake out the legs. Little windshield wiper action with the knees here. And then I'll invite you, as we continue our warm-up, to lay down on your yoga mat, but lay down in the direction that your head will remain throughout our practice. If you'd like a little core strengthening, you could lay down without support, or you can use your hands to help yourself all the way down. And when you get down, hug those knees into the chest, and then continue to flex and extend the ankles and find that breath. Relax the muscles of the face, relax your shoulders back and down. This posture, we sort of take it for granted in a yoga practice, but this posture actually helps us to feel grounded. And even better if we feel and see our breath moving down the length of the body from crown to tail. And feel the back of your body and how you are supported and held. And then reach both legs and arms up, and then circles with both ankles and wrists. We're soothing tired feet and legs, encouraging lymphatic flow. It's a little bit easier to keep the legs lifted with the hands tucked underneath the outer hips. That's there for you too. Really feel the bones of the legs and the bones of the arms sink back into their sockets. Good. Core awakening for you now. Bring your arms into robot arms close to your torso. Press your outer shoulders away from one another. Draw your low ribs in towards your body and imagine that the whole front of the body, all of your core muscles could move towards the floor. Using them, slowly start to bend the knees and maybe tap the toes towards the ground without the low back popping up too much. Really engage your core, and then that's your movement with breath. As you inhale, the legs will lengthen. As you exhale, we're warming up the knee joints, but we're also enlivening the core. We want to find our core muscles right now because we'll use them throughout practice. And you find them by drawing them all in towards the ground and up. See if you can release tension from the eyes, breathing and moving with ease and in unison. One more. Good, and then hug those knees in. If it's comfortable, open up the knees nice and wide and draw them in towards one another, warming up the hip joints now. Breath is flowing. One more movement on your back. Place the feet down, knees bent, ankles directly underneath knees. Reach the arms on the floor above the head behind you to the degree that's comfortable for you. As you exhale, so two things are happening at the same time, you'll get it. Exhale, tone the belly and slowly lift the hips just a bit as you arc the arms down next to your torso. And then inhale, very slowly lower the hips down and reach the arms back up. Tether those low ribs in. Exhale, hips lift, lengthen the tailbone towards the knees, lower the arms down. And slowly inhale, hips lower and arms reach back up. Beginning of the exhale, beginning of the movement. Keep the thighs parallel. Beginning of the inhale, beginning of the movement. One more time. And the next time the hips reach the floor, bring one hand to the abdomen, one hand to the chest, and just notice if you now feel a bit of a nice, easy, calmer flow in the body. It's something so simple, moving in time with the breath, but it can discharge stress and really turn on our relaxation response. And what we're looking for before we move into the dynamic aspect of our practice is to keep the breath this long, this deep, to keep this sort of calm sensation in the body, even while coming up upon more challenges. So simply shift the hips in one direction, knees in the opposite direction, and roll on over to your tabletop, please. You can be on hands, on fists, on fingertips or forearms, whatever serves your wrists. Arms strong and straight, lift the face away from the floor, engage the entire front of the body, lift it away from the floor, and then straighten the right leg behind you. Place the right ball mound down on the ground and start to rock forward and back. So you're giving the back line of your leg a nice stretch, also warming up the foot a little bit more, ankles and toes. Move in a way that feels good. Make sure to keep the breath long and deep. Now, I suggested that you have something as a cushion for a knee. You might want to place a cushion underneath that left knee. As you kickstand out the left foot, come to stand on the left hand, rotate the back foot so it's parallel with the short edge of the yoga mat, and come into a full body side stretch. You're not collapsing into that low shoulder joint. Shoulder blades stay on the back body and draw the entire front of the body in towards the spine. Maybe you lift up that back leg as well, firming up all the structures around the hip. Foot is active. Where can you be that your breath is long and deep? Not collapsing in that low shoulder joint. Core engaged. Take your time. Come back down. Other side. Inhale. Make sure you're not hanging the head. Lift the face. Lift the core. And then give a nice stretch to the back line of the left leg, rocking forward and back. Use the muscles of your hands, gripping into finger pads. And then maybe some cushion underneath the right knee as you kickstand the right foot out to the right. Come up to stand on the right hand, the back foot parallel with the short edge of the mat. Arms can be away from one another if that's better, or maybe full side stretch. Top shoulder back. Sides of the throat back, low ribs back, back leg engaged, maybe even lifting. Breath long and deep, breathing like it's easy. Tone the pit of the belly, come on down. Extended child's pose, open up your knees nice and wide. Sink the hips towards the heels. If this doesn't feel good for the knees, you could lay all the way on the abdomen. Reach the arms out in front of you, and my suggestion, my invitation is palms face up with forehead resting on something. Now find your breath and feel the shape your body is in. with palms face up, this is an opportunity to ask. And it's actually very therapeutic to ask for what we want. So from this practice, what is it that is needed? What are you receiving, cultivating, drawing in? And you might construct a sentence here like, may my heart be open, or may I be connected to compassion. May I be connected to my intuition. May I cultivate joy. May I be happy. Whatever it is, whatever feels authentic, it's just an opportunity to ask for what you want from your practice here. And then really big breath in, like you could receive it right through open palms, up the arms, into the heart. For some of you, you're certainly welcome to stay right here in child's pose. If you have downward dog in your practice, here's the time for it. Plant those hands outer shoulder distance apart, index finger lined up with the long edge of the yoga mat. Grip those hands into the mat, lift the knees, lift the hips, bend the knees quite a bit. And as you keep pressing your hands down and forward, continue to stretch your hips away from your wrists. Let's pedal out the feet in this first variation here, continuing to warm up. Find your breath, and please ensure that your exhales can be complete. There's no more breath before the exhale is interrupted by another inhale. Maybe you'll find stillness here. Anchor the index knuckle, the thumb, into the floor. Arms are strong and straight, and then spiral your inner elbows towards one another. And here too, draw in your low ribs. Find that core strength. It's like you're radiating from core. Big breath in. Open mouth, let it go. There's no tension in the neck. You're looking between your feet. When you're empty of breath, walk those feet forward, coming into a forward fold, where you'll bend your knees enough so you can find length in your spine rather than rounding in the back. Think about the front of your body getting longer here, navel lengthening to chest. Breathe in, and exhale, bow. I'm here. You might find that mantra again. Inhale, lengthen halfway. And exhale, send your exhale to the soles of your feet. I'm here. Inhale. Last time, I'm here. Root down into your feet, and from all of that rooting, arms wide and high, reach the arms. Mudra to come back to your center, that inner witness, witnessing it all with compassion. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel temperature and fabric on skin. And feel the breath in your body, up and down. All right, we're moving and breathing now in a more dynamic way. Stay with your breath and use that mantra, the protector of the mind. I'm here whenever you need to come back home into body and breath. Reach the arms high, inhale. Soften those knees, exhale, take your time, forward fold. Halfway rise, everyone. Plant your hands, step back to plank. Absolutely, knees could come down as you press the floor away from you. Relaxed face, lift the face, broaden the collarbones. If the knees are still high, charge up the glutes, all the structures around the hips and your thighs as well. You can come down to the knees first for this first one, and think about those hands pulling back as you keep your face and shoulders lifted, elbows hug in tight, slowly lower. Anchor the tops of the feet and the pubic bone towards the ground. Bring the arms into cactus arms here, hover them away from the ground, and then inhale, keeping the pubic bone anchored. Think length with the spine rather than a lifting, and then exhale, lower. Let's do that 2 more times with your breath. Anchor the pubic bone, think length with the spine, back of the neck in line with the spine. Inhale, kiss shoulder blades. Exhale, lower. 1 more. And all the way down, tuck those toes either into your tabletop or into your downward facing dog. Tabletop is absolutely appropriate for where we're going. So if that feels better than a down dog, take that. In down dog, you're pressing into your inner hands, outer shoulders melt away from one another, and low ribs hug in. Step the feet together. From core strength, lift the right leg from the inner upper thigh, and then tone the belly and step the foot all the way through. Take the hand to the ankle if you need to. Back knee comes down. Hug that front hip back hip forward. Seal that in place by squeezing legs to midline, and maybe you stay right here, nice long torso. Or as you hug everything to midline, tone the pit of the belly, and maybe you come all the way up. If you're coming up, draw your waistline back, firm up the back glute. So you might be standing a little taller here with the spine. Now, if you know it's okay for you to twist, as you exhale, draw the whole waistline back and twist just from the mid-torso towards that front knee. That's your exhale. Inhale, reach the arms back up, hug arms and legs to midline. Tone the pit of the belly, exhale just from the mid-torso so the legs and the hips don't move. Last time, back to neutral. And then exhale, twist, keep the core strong. Just lean over and touch the left fingertips towards the ground. Twisted low lunge, collarbones broad, shoulder blades kiss, and maybe that back knee lifts, charging up your back leg, just maybe. Front hip back hip forward, find your breath. You're here, I'm here. Tone the pit of the belly, look down, and then handspring that front foot. Take a breath in and a long breath out. When you're empty, step forward, forward fold. Parallel feet, bend those knees, hips higher than low back, halfway rise. And exhale, bow, I'm here. Interlace the hands behind your low back if that serves you. And allow all of the muscles right behind the heart to soften and allow the interlace to float a little higher. Send your long, smooth exhalation down into your feet and firming up the muscles right around the sits bones. Slowly rise as if somebody were lifting you up from that interlace. Release it. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Receptive palms. Take it in. You're witnessing once again. If you need grounding, feel your feet on the ground. And come back to your exhale. Anytime you need to discharge tension, we're here. Other side, beginning of the inhale, beginning of the movement, reaching for this present moment. Exhale, we're diving into it, forward fold. Halfway rise, find beautiful length, hips higher than low back. And you can step back either to plank or for less movement, step back to your downward facing dog. Take what you need, it's your practice. If you found plank, lift yourself away from the floor, and then as you exhale, your hands are pulling back as the face and the shoulders stay lifted, come all the way to the floor, maybe halfway if you have up dog in your practice. Anchor the tops of the feet in the pubic bone, cobra. Think more length, back of the neck long, shoulder blades hug. And then slowly lower, and let's meet in either your table or your downward facing dog pose. Find your breath, especially that grounding exhalation. Rooting down into the full hands like suction cups, rooting down into your heels. Find your core, hug those low ribs in. Feet come together and then lift the left leg slowly from the inner upper thigh. And step the foot all the way forward. Take the ankle if you need to. Front knee directly over top of ankle, back knee down. Hug everything to midline, tone the pit of the belly. You can stay right here, or that hugging in helps you to lift. Inhale helps you to lift. It also helps you to hug outer hips and arms in towards the midline of your body as you draw the whole waistline back and firm up back glutes. If you're twisting, as you exhale, tone the pit of the belly and twist just from mid-torso towards the front knee, the left. And then inhale slowly back through center. Relax the face, deepen the breath. And then look down, mindfully tip over. Right fingertips stay down. You can pause right here. Twisted low lunge, back glute is strong. Keep hugging the pit of the belly back and up. Find a lot of length between tail and crown, or maybe the back knee lifts and the back leg charges up. Where can you breathe most fully and completely? Front toes relax, shoulders back and down. Tone the belly, unwind, look forward, and when you're empty of breath, step forward. Halfway rise. Exhale back. Option to interlace those hands one more time if that feels appropriate for you. Press the feet down and away from one another, leg muscles strong. Slowly come all the way up, whether the hands were interlaced or not. Give the shoulders another roll. Freeing the shoulders creates more space across the chest. And yoga teaches us when we open up physically across the chest, we start to feel a little bit more open. Remember your ask. Remember to tether to your breath. Now bring your hands to your hip points. You're starting up at the top of your yoga mat. Gaze somewhere that is not moving. Your feet are parallel, about 2 fist widths apart, as you sink your hips down as if to take a seat in an invisible chair or stool. And then keep pressing your feet and your knees away from one another so the knees don't knock in towards one another. Glutes really strong. Reach the arms out in front of you. Draw the head of the arm bones back. As you inhale, find length between tail and crown. Now as you exhale, more weight down into the right foot. The toes don't grip. The foot anchors. All 4 corners press down. Maybe the left toes are a kickstand. Maybe you hover the left foot, which activates. You might bring the hands to the hip points and just nice and easy, big step back, upright crescent lunge. Hands to your hip points will help you level them because you'll want to draw your front hip back, back hip forward so you don't feel like you're on a tightrope or a balance beam. Back leg is strong. Hug legs together, bring the hands to the heart. Relax face and shoulders. Moving in time with breath, inhale. Open up, cactus arms. Straighten that front leg perhaps. And exhale, front knee on top of ankle. Hands to heart. Doing a couple of things here, back to tethering breath to movement. Feel your feet on the ground at the end of the exhale. And also we're embodying this idea of receiving in our practice. May I be connected to compassion, and you're drawing that right in, whatever your ask was. And the next time the hands come to heart center, you might stay right here. This might be plenty. Or hug inner thighs towards one another. Tone the pit of the belly. Lengthen the left side of the body and twisting from the left towards the right, just from the mid-torso. Maybe you twist just a few inches, or maybe you lean forward and hook your outer left elbow to the outer right knee. Hands will come right to heart center as shoulder blades touch. Back leg is strong. Breathe big. Hugging front hip back, back hip forward. Then tone the pit of the belly and unwind, frame the front foot. And this is where you might like a little bit of height for the hands. You might have those books or blocks or cans. You might walk the back foot a little further back so your front ankle is right underneath front knee. And then with the breath, as you inhale, work the front leg towards straight. And exhale, back either to your runner's lunge or your low lunge. Make it your own. Inhale, front leg towards straight. You'll want to hug front hip back, back hip forward. And exhale, low lunge or runner's lunge. Your breath. And next time you're in your low lunge, plant those hands, framing the front foot, tuck the back toe, either three-legged table or three-legged dog. Invitation to roll open that right hip. Press the right palm down and lift the bent right knee away from the right wrist. Shoulders are square to the top of the mat. Relax your face, lengthen the neck, and maybe, just maybe, tone the pit of the belly and cross the knee across the torso, tap opposite elbow. One might be plenty and now you're in child's pose, or maybe two more. Slower is stronger. Full breath. Your exhale is such a friend here. Lift front body to back body. And then back to your downward facing dog. Now you decide, you might hold down dog, you might come into child's pose, or for a little bit more, you might ripple forward to your plank and move into that vinyasa, as we say, which basically means to place in a special way. So however you're moving in a mindful, present way that serves your body. Take 3 to 4 breaths here to find rest in what feels like a rest for you. Maybe it's dog, maybe it is a child's pose. Breath big. Next, inhale, make your way up to whichever pose will take you forward into your forward fold. That could be stepping forward from a table, walking or hopping from your down dog. Bend the knees a lot, bring the hands to the hips, press down into the feet, glutes strong, slowly rise, and receive. Palms open. Feel feet on the ground, sensation in palms. Come up to the top of the mat. Let's see how present we can be, staying with our breath fully as we take that seat into an invisible stool or chair. Hands could be out in front of you. If you know they're better on the hips, start with them at the hips, or maybe start with them at the heart. Gaze so steady, it's like another limb, your gaze supporting you. So anchor that left foot now. Toes stay light and spreading. From core strength, maybe hover the right foot. Right toes can remain a kickstand this whole time. And like it's easy, take a step back. You might want to even out those hip points now so it's nice and level, and then seal that into place by squeezing the legs to midline. With your breath, open up. And hands to heart center. Really offering and receiving. You're here. Take what you need. Next time the hands are at the heart, you might be staying right here, that back leg like a kickstand supporting you. If you're going to twist, hug inner thighs, tone the pit of the belly. You're twisting just from the midline, maybe an inch or two, or maybe leaning forward, and outer right elbow hooks to outer left knee. Hands to heart center, melt your shoulders away from your ears. Head's not hanging forward, back of the neck is long. Front hip back and back leg strong. Long exhales. Strong core, unwind, frame the front foot. Maybe find a little bit of height for the hands, maybe walk the back foot back. Inhale, hug the front hip back as you straighten the leg, and exhale, maybe the back knee down, more of an opening for the hip flexors of that back leg. This is your moving meditation, so make it slow. And allow the exhale to really wash over you, offering softness even here. Next time you're in a low lunge, plant those hands, either three-legged table or down dog. So I'll show you what a table would look like this time. If you're in down dog, you do the same thing you did last time. You might roll open the hip, you might not if you're in table. And then, if it serves you, cross the knee across the body, tap opposite elbow. And if you're in table, you could draw the knee in towards the nose, lifting front body to back body. Wherever you are, this is the movement that allows you to breathe fully. And then back to your downward facing dog. Now take a rest if you need one, because there's just one more standing series here, and it's going to originate from right here in our down dog. So if you'd like to stay in down dog, great. If you'd like to rest or move in another way, take a breath or two. Draw those low ribs in, tone the pit of the belly, and step the right foot all the way forward. Start in a runner's lunge. Make sure that front ankle is directly underneath the front knee. Hug front hip back, back hip forward, back leg is strong. You could stay here or tent the left fingers, tone the pit of the belly. We're twisting one more time from the mid-torso. So the pelvis did not move there, just twisting from the mid-torso. Almost like your navel could rotate back down to the ground as the rib cage opens to the long edge of the mat. Now look down. Some of you might touch down or reach that top arm forward, rotate the back foot so it's almost parallel with the short edge of the yoga mat, and then windmill the hands up into your warrior two. Do the best that you can there. Anchor that back foot strong. Back leg super strong. Front knee, make sure it's bending open to pinky toe. Squeeze powerful feet in towards one another, and are your shoulders right on top of your hips. Wash your breath up and down the length of the body. Long exhales. Anchor your feet. Back hand to a firm back thigh, Exalted Warrior. Keep squeezing the feet in towards one another as you lengthen tail away from top hand. Now, just an invitation. Some of us from here are going to move into a half moon. So that can look like coming through Warrior Two. You could shorten your stance if you like, but you're going to be reaching to the floor or something about a foot diagonal from the pinky toe. Make sure the toes and the kneecap keep pointing straight forward. Top hand to the hip. And maybe we're lifting up that back leg, foot is active. You're stacking your shoulders and your hips, just as we did earlier in practice. Calm face, breath, deep. Breathe like it's easy here. When you feel ready, hands come down first, then feet come down, forward fold, bend your knees, take a deep breath in, let it out the mouth. One more time. Let it go. Now, because it's also therapeutic to really give the mind something to focus on, we're going to do that sequence other way around. So you're going to be standing on your left foot, anchor that foot. Left hand about a foot diagonal from the pinky toe. Top hand to the hip. Keep the standing toes and kneecap pointing straight forward as you do your best to stack shoulders and hips. If this doesn't feel good, you could have both hands on the ground and you could be lifting that back leg from the inner upper thigh. So choose your practice. Breathe, breathe. Like it's no big deal. Can we step back? Woo! To our Exalted Warrior. Keep squeezing feet in towards one another. Tone the pit of the belly. Back to your Warrior Two. Shoulders right on top of hips. Back leg strong, back glutes strong. Find your breath. And then tone the pit of the belly. Windmill the hands. Pick up the back heel. Come into your runner's lunge. This may be plenty, or you might finish it off with your twist. Front hip back hip forward. Lots of length between tail and crown. Plant your hands, last downward facing dog. And then ripple forward. Last plank, knees can come down. We're coming all the way down to the floor. And then in as few movements as possible, simply roll over to your back. Bend the knees. feet on the floor. Bring one hand to the abdomen, one hand to the chest. And feel the support of the ground. And allow yourself to be supported. Notice how long and deep the breath is now. The purpose of our physical yoga practice is to help us regulate the breath. And as the breath becomes more stable, the mind becomes softer. We can create a kinder inner commentary, a kinder inner landscape. We can learn to speak to ourselves as we would speak to a friend. For now, maybe continue to repeat that stabilizing inward phrase of "I'm here." Bridge pose. It could be an active pose. It could be a supported pose. So if you know you want something more supportive and restorative, you could grab a pillow. You could grab two pillows, place them underneath the tailbone section of the low back, underneath the pelvis. If you want an active bridge, your feet are parallel, ankles underneath knees. Start with robot arms. You're not looking around, gaze is straight up. Press into the back of the arms and the feet, tone the pit of the belly, and then lengthen the tailbone towards the inner knees. Think about your inner thighs dropping in towards one another. So there's lots of spaciousness for the low back. Some of you will stay here. Some of you might hold on to the outer edges of your mat as you continue to lift and expand your chest. Or some of you might interlace your hands underneath your hips. You might even walk your arms in towards your spine if that feels okay for your shoulders. So we're all doing something different. Some of you supported, palms open, just enjoying your breath and the way that this inversion starts to turn on our relaxation response. If you're in an active bridge, really squeeze your heels towards your face so you feel the back of your body strong back, lifting front of the body, front of the body open. Whenever you feel ready, and there's no rush, you're at home, you can slowly come down, and all I would ask is that you just be still here for a moment without counterposing. You can drop the knees slightly towards one another. This time, palms up. Receive. Might be a nice place to notice if there's any internal response from your ask earlier. When we get quiet, sometimes we can hear the softer, more truthful voice within the mind. As you're ready, let the knees have a bit of a swish, side to side. And in this class, I'm promising a really deluxe Shavasana, gorgeous guided meditation. So before we get there, any last movement like hugging the knees in. You might hug the knees in nice and wide if you're comfortable with that, pressing knees into hands, hands into knees, and lengthening tailbone. For those of you who have a comfortable or fairly comfortable happy baby in your practice, you can reach for tops of the foot or maybe shins or thighs. You do want to keep your tailbone lengthening to the ground. Collarbones nice and broad, back of the neck long. Breathing with ease here. Eventually, Hands hug back in towards the knees. Take a moment and thank yourself for making time for you, for this practice. And then I'll sit up, but I invite you to build the most comfortable nest you possibly can for your mini yoga nidra, mini yogic sleep. Blankets, pillows, eye pillows. And then I'll bring us out of our meditation together, and we'll come back together to close this sacred digital space that we created together. Once you're lying down, I invite you to open up your feet and your knees, maybe almost to the width of your yoga mat. Arms away from your body by your sides with your palms open. And snuggle yourself into the support of the ground, shoulders away from ears. Before we let the breath almost float away, let's take one more really deep breath in and make fists with your feet and your hands and firm up the muscles of your face, create tension. And then exhale, let it all go. And feel the bones of your legs sink heavily into the ground. The bones of your arms heavy. The back of the head heavy to the ground. But it's almost like the bones of your face are growing lighter, softening the forehead, smoothing down the eyelids, relaxing your cheeks, jaw, and tongue. Bring your awareness to sensations of the feet, any texture on skin, temperature on skin, no thinking, just noticing. Sensation and pulsation in toes and streaming beyond. And allow yourself to find acceptance for your feet, and then allow them to release completely with relaxation. And bring your awareness now to sensations of your legs. Feel both legs at the same time. Scanning up and down legs for fabric and sensation. Checking in with the knees and behind the knees. And offer acceptance to your legs. And allow your legs to relax completely. Muscles of the legs soft with relaxation. Feel the very subtle and gentle rise and fall of the abdomen with your light as a feather breath. Bring your awareness to the abdomen and even the organs within. And notice as you allow for release and acceptance of belly and internal organs, even the organs themselves sigh with relaxation under your attention, under your compassionate gaze. And as you relax there at the abdomen, notice a deeper level of relaxation for the whole body. Feel the aliveness in your hands once again. The sensations in your fingertips and streaming beyond. Feel both hands at the same time. Feel both arms at the same time. Feel across the chest and the upper back. with full acceptance of hands and arms, chest and upper back, allow all of these physical expressions of the symbolic heart to soften completely. Awareness now to sensations of the face. All of the face alive with sensation. Inside the mouth sensation. Without judgment, just noticing any taste. Noticing once again what you hear in your space and further away. Noticing what you see behind closed lids. And noticing any scent in the air. And while you're feeling full nose sensation and the wisp of cool air in and warm air out, begin to notice this gentle breath in the body. Its motion like a wave moving through your body. You're so relaxed now that the bones of your body seem to sway to and fro with the rhythm of this breath. Allow your mind to sink into the space at the end of your exhalation. And once it sinks into the space for the first time, can you keep your mind and your attention focused at the center of the chest, the symbolic heart? And can you visualize a version of yourself there? An embodiment of the inner teacher, intuition, or as yoga would say, the part of us that is always okay and has never been afraid. And you're invited to explore a union with this part of yourself as you rest. Awareness still at the center of the chest, body remaining still. And now as you take a much deeper inhale, feel and see the breath moving from the center of the chest to the periphery of your body, to the edges of your body. And then as you exhale, feel the breath moving back in towards the center. Let your mind watch your ever deepening breath, breathing to the edges of your body and then back home to the heart. And the next time you breathe to the edges of your body, bring small movements to fingers and to toes. Even though it's later in the day, this is really our second opportunity to be new to this day. Let's wake up with presence, with breath. Maybe linking our inhalation to our ask once again, to what we are receiving from this experience. And linking our exhalation to what we might leave behind on the yoga mat today. Eventually allow these small movements to grow into larger ones. And then rocking your body over to one side. Letting yourself take a moment just to feel. And what do you need to intend or think or do in order to retain some of what you have cultivated during this hour together. And then press into your hands and slowly rise so we can close together. Nice tall spine. Either palms face up or maybe hands come to the heart, either together or stacked. Allow a few bigger breaths and notice the difference in your breath here. As if it is true that movement helps to regulate breath, it's smoother and clearer and bigger. And then regulated breath helps to regulate our mind so that we can see things more clearly, meaning a much kinder inner landscape. Thank you all so much for practicing with me here this afternoon at Radiant Yoga and Wellness. Namaste.